Rand. All right, welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about cameos, something that has really changed, I feel like, both for television, movies.
Well, the
just
use
how
of them
they're-
has definitely changed, especially in the 2020s. It's just kind of a cheap ploy to get people to see movies. I mean, like,
well, we've
'cause of
definitely
word
seen
of mouth.
we've seen an overabundance of them, no
Yeah.
doubt.
For
That's for sure.
No, agreed. I think the usage of it, the association, like now, people hear, oh, cameo, someone's coming back to reprise a role, someone's coming back to draw attention. It's not what it used to be. It's either very subtle or in your face to either make you laugh or be like, oh my God, like, there he is.
I would actually argue there's so many cameos nowadays that it's kind of hard to tell, like, what is a cameo and, like, what isn't.
It's definitely
You know?
tough, but there's a lot, especially even some voice acting ones. Like, people do it to be kind of niche, like when Kevin Conroy would show up in, like, another DC project, and it'd be like, oh my God, like, Lord and Savior's right there. Add Leonardo DiCaprio snapping pointing scene, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest, offender of this is definitely Marvel, because
yeah.
you'll have a character that just isn't, it's not their movie. Just
well,
show
as
up for
we've
a quick
talked
scene or
about,
two.
Marvel's influence, obviously, they continue to. They're not what they were, and we've talked a bunch about that, but they still dominate the box office in some way. I mean, every year they've had at least $1 billion movie. I mean, at least with Deadpool and Wolverine, they're back making money. We got Thunderbolts this year, Cap 4. They're not duds.
So I'll
at the box
reiterate,
office.
honestly,
Cap 4 was
just 'cause you
such
brought
dog shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, but besides that, though,
Yeah.
just that movie has cameos. It just shows like each of
that's
these.
why I kind of want to bring up Marvel, because I mean, especially Deadpool, Wolverine. Like,
Yes.
do we consider the appearance of Blade, Gambit, all those Elektra, all those characters? Is that a cameo?
Well,
like that, it is a
I
cameo.
I
They're in
want
a
to
good
say
amount of
yes, but I
movies.
also want to
Yeah,
say
that's a fair
no
point.
because
Yeah.
of their functionality with the story.
That's what I'm saying. They're in a good amount of
That's
movies.
well, not even that. It's how they function with the story is why I think they're not a cameo, because the whole point of all these, universes not getting restored, losing their anchor, being like, they're all meant to be there. It's not like we're taking something like, let's say, Doc Brown in A Million Ways to Die in the West, where he just makes like a brief cameo. It's like, no, they're important to the story and what's going on with Deadpool and Wolverine, which is why I don't even count them as a cameo. Same thing with Azazel and a bunch of the other actors who are in there, because they are important to what is going on in the story.
That's a good
It's
point.
not like it's a brief cameo for even a couple of minutes. Like, there could be a cameo that happens more than like 20 seconds.
Yeah,
It can
they
happen for a
linger.
couple
They're
minutes,
in the movie. That's a good point.
But they are very crucial to what they do, to their escape.
Yeah.
Also, that's not a cameo to me. And now that
I would say the only one that really is a cameo would probably be like Johnny Storm.
yeah,
like,
no,
that's a cameo.
that one I'd say is a cameo because
Yeah.
he's not as.
But how are you really
imp-
classifying it as a cameo if he's in more than one scene and everyone else? That's what you're saying doesn't make it a cameo.
I guess, I mean, it's tough. I feel like I can kind of just
No,
tell
I
that he
think-
was only there for a day of filming.
I think in the realm of Marvel, they're all technically like, yes, they have extended roles in the film, but like when you're still having a conversation about this, people are gonna be like, "Who were the cameos?"
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's
Like,
true. That's why I
Marvel
say
has
it.
also kind of redefined what a cameo is.
Sadly,
Because their current multiverse saga is revolving around cameos and bringing
Gambino,
people back.
Gambino,
It's true.
he showed up as the Prowler in
Yeah.
costume, like
That was
in
a fun. That
Spider-Verse.
was a fun one from Sony.
No, that's a
I
fun.
gotta
No,
say.
that's a fun one. That's a very respectable one. The only thing I just don't like with cameos now, and I really hope that Disney doesn't introduce this in Star Wars, especially. Most of the time, when someone shows up in a Star Wars film, like it's not just a brief cameo. Like there's, I guess Zeb, from
Well,
Rebels showed up.
You're
and-
talking about Star Wars.
Well, I want
What
to say because
about
Disney owns it
Mandalorian?
also. No, well,
They did it.
Yes, 100%. With who do we want to be specific about? On
Jack
it?
Black.
That's
it's not a character; it's a cameo, though.
Yeah,
it
that's-
really
that's
was.
an
a
That's
actor.
one.
Larry
I completely forgot about
they've
that.
already
I try to
stopped
block
changing.
that of him, Lizzo, Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
That was jarring. Like that really
Exactly.
took you out of it, and that's just kind of showing the current state of cameos, where that's what they're designed to do.
They
kind
take
of.
you out of the movie a little bit.
Yeah, and before, I guess technically, yes, you could say that that's what they've always kind of done. Especially the ones we're gonna delve into some of our favorites, but it's kind of just changed the vibe of it. It really halts the movie now.
Mhm.
It's like before they were just kind of nice, like little things you could laugh at, but the story still continues. Now it's like people are going to movies to point out these cameos. Before, like they would just show up randomly. It'd be like, oh, that's a
Yeah.
fun little nod.
I think the actual problem with it is that people are expecting cameos.
Exactly. That's
now.
what I'm. Yeah, you're fixing my
People
words.
expect
the
it and
whole
credit
fun
too.
of cameos is taken away because they're not supposed to be expected.
It's
And
like
now
it's like an end
yeah.
credit scene, and the thing that sucks about cameos, and I'm not going to get into end credit scenes.
It really
because
does
we
have
can
the
talk
same
about
vibe as an end credit
But
scene, though.
it's just
You're
it's,
right.
it's at the point now where it's like everyone expects everything to be connected or not. And the one thing I want to bring about, because it's a Disney property, even though it wasn't made under Disney, the beauty I'm going to say about Star Wars is you do not need to watch everything for cameos or for connected. You could watch the prequels and not care about the sequels or original trilogy or Clone Wars, whatever. You could watch prequels and be like, oh, this time jumps to this 2 to 3. I don't need to watch a Clone Wars. It just added lore. All the stuff with Star Wars is added. You could realistically watch everything alone, not care about voice cameos, even if they're the cameos with the Mandalorian. You cannot watch the Mandalorian if you don't want to. You can avoid Ahsoka. Like Marvel, it's you have to watch everything, and when you watch everything, it comes with those cameos.
That's
so
a
once
fair
you're
point.
being
That's good,
once you're
yeah.
being fed
I didn't
these
see where
things,
you're going at first, but I
you're
get
getting
it.
not desensitized. You're getting used to and conditioned for
Yeah.
Marvel to, all right, you're going to get a cameo. And a lot of people complain about DC, and I'm not going to just sit here and shit on Snyder and some of his approaches, but a lot of people complain, oh, DC doesn't have cameos, DC doesn't have this. Like, why do you want cameos every time? Oh my God, Christian Bale shows up. Oh, like, why would you want that? Why would you not want properties
We
to be
saw
independent?
everyone's sentiment towards them in the Flash film.
Yeah,
so.
and I
Yeah.
respect that
That's
people.
a terrible usage.
I
of
like
cameos.
that people
You wanna call it
respected.
that.
Oh, you guys did Reeves wrong. Oh, you did this wrong. Like, I respect you guys are respecting them.
Yeah.
But the issue is with cameos now, everyone expects it to make or break a movie. Why should it have to make or break a movie? Why? Some people are like,
Yeah.
movie was ass. There was no cameos. Like, what?
Yeah. It
Like,
just
well,
shouldn't be instilled
Like,
in
sometimes
in
it gets
the viewer.
oversaturated in the movies. Multiverse of Madness, for example. Like, not gonna lie, besides the story being weak, it was there. It was like, damn, I came here to see Krasinski be on the screen, and that was it. And everyone
It's
was
kind of sad, right?
and everybody was like preaching it, and it's like, why are we gonna preach that? Why are we preaching a mid fucking movie and no
because
disrespect
now
to
they
Raimi?
can't use an interesting group that a lot of people, fan of Marvel, really like, the Illuminati. They can't use. They just they show them being kind of very sad and just very weak.
Yeah, I mean, I want to look past Marvel for a second though, because I actually think just in general, people are really just instilled.
I want to talk about raunchy comedies for a second.
Yeah, exactly. But every movie now, people just expect cameos in everything, every genre.
I really think
every big
The
budget movie. You
I'm
expect a
gonna
cameo.
say this: 2010s in previous perfected the cameo.
Yeah.
Now overutilized and abused
That
it.
might because it was
might
the
be exactly.
pre-franchise era. It was
Yeah.
There
Now
was
it's franchise
there
and
was
stuff.
franchises, but I'm gonna say this right now:
pre-MCU.
social media really made this so like people. It's almost like content creators are putting shit in people's head. Like, you deserve a cameo. You need to pressure the company, and they build up hype. Oh, this is a fan cast. Oh my God, let's bully this company into either having a cameo or
social
doing
media
this.
has
Like,
a lot of influence
social
on these
media has
movies.
ruined so many
I agree.
things, not just for the film industry, but I'm gonna be honest, like the world. It has. And cameos in the movie industry, because it's people's escape from shit. You can't go to a movie now and just enjoy it for what it is. There's so many people that do complain if it's a franchise or something else. Oh, no cameo, no reference, no Easter egg. No,
We got into this last week
Seriously.
with Star Wars. You got to just let creators cook, and now creators are pressured to thinking the common consumer needs cameos. They
look
need
about Darth
cameos.
Plagueis and Acolyte. I'm gonna be honest
Not
here.
needed. I mean, that whole show didn't need to be
It did.
a thing.
It
but
didn't need to be a thing at all because you're hiring someone that
Well, I
doesn't
guess
understand
you never
Star
know
Wars.
if they were going to continue.
Well,
with that.
well,
You never know.
A
You never know.
100%. But the issue is now is you could have made that its own project because it really wasn't connected to what Lucas did. Like, it really was away from it. But because they felt the need to add Plagueis as almost like a redemption thing for the fans, it now kind of does connect it, and that's an issue. Sometimes if they strayed away from it, same thing with like Star Wars Visions. If they really, somebody made their own thing, that's the issue. You have people doing their own interpretations of something such as Visions. If they were to do something that made it even remotely canon with a cameo of some sort, that's an issue. Cameos can also bridge things together, which I really don't like. And for example, Plague is kind of bridging Acolyte, making it a part of the universe. It could have been its own standalone thing. It'd be someone's interpretation, such as Visions. But no, now it is connected to the storyline.
The constant need to have connective tissue is quite annoying.
Yeah, I
will
mean,
give you that.
before we
I
move
agree.
on, from franchises, I mean, I just got to say it was very refreshing watching Thunderbolts, and that wasn't apparent at all. No
Yeah.
cameos.
Exactly.
Finally, just focused on
Thunderbolts is great
characters.
because I think it's exactly what Marvel needed. A
End
movie that
credit scene
doesn't
got
rely.
spoiled for me.
Yeah, I mean, end credit
What?
scene. End credit scene aside, aside, whatever. It doesn't really
Oh,
lean
yeah,
to
well,
that
that's its
grander
own-
universe
the film
of the Marvel
itself.
universe.
Didn't rely
Someone
on
called me
that.
up and
Yeah, that's a
spoiled
fair
it to
point.
me. Oh, hey, what's up? And then immediately told me the end credit scene. So I was like, okay, cool. You caught me off guard. I was going to see it this week without
What a good
class.
friend.
Well, that's just rude.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
no,
just
it's
kinda
funny.
rude.
It's like some people that we talk to.
Don't worry,
post
the end
that
credits
film.
spoil the end credit scene.
No,
so.
but isn't that funny? We talked to
No,
some
I know
people
that. I
about
saw.
Thunderbolts, and they were upset. And I think that shows you there's some consumers that still are really looking for that stuff.
Yeah,
just action
100%.
cameos, literally just fan moments. Like it's like that's really goes into the theme park statement on these movies. Like what Martin Scorsese has said. For everyone listening, he says that these films are like kind of theme park attractions. And I really see that, especially with the cameos, because there's just scenes where you're designed to cheer. You're designed to,
There are a lot of movies in the MCU that I feel like they had a list and they're like, we have to check everything off.
Well,
There's a lot, and if we don't check everything off, it's not an MCU.
Two
movie.
movies that came out, Deadpool and Spider-Man. Tell me they're not awkward to watch now, because there's moments that they give you that time to
to
react.
pause and react.
It's gonna
to
sound
cameos,
crazy,
yeah.
and a lot of people are not gonna like this. But I'll be honest, like No Way Home, I saw it 3 times in theater. Third time, I saw a lot of plot holes, and it was the second time I saw it with you guys. I saw it another
It's a
time.
COVID movie,
And
They
it is,
threw it together.
but
And it's a
sitting,
very fun movie.
sitting in the movie theater though, and being like, this is not good fan service, because I realized sitting there, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of issues with this story, and it's bugging me. I'm realizing like there's a lot of people that are like, oh, don't think that deep. It's just a Marvel movie, but it's just a Marvel movie. Marvel,
the main
like
character.
you gotta understand something.
Yeah. Or should
Marvel has changed Hollywood and movies as we know it, so you can't just say, oh, it's just a Marvel movie,
Yeah.
because it's obviously a lot more than that. They hold so much.
They're the
so
most
much
expensive
influence.
movies in the world.
They own so much influence over the industry as itself. They've changed They changed the
And
biggest
that's what we're
franchise
getting at.
before them.
That's what we're getting at here.
And
They
people,
influence so
why do
much
you think
with
people are
cameos.
getting so mad at shit now?
Yeah,
Why?
facts. You bringing up Star Wars again is great because seeing cameos in Star Wars is really weird.
There's
It was
nothing
scary.
wrong. If you
What?
wanted to hire Jack Black as some like junkie on Tatooine or something else, I wouldn't give a shit. But it's how they utilize someone. It doesn't need to be a cameo. He could have an actual role, and I can honestly see him having an actual role.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but
it's clear they were
but-
like, let's
It's
put
a
Jack
cameo,
Black.
yeah.
in
And
this.
like
Cameo,
no offense to Lizzo, but why the fuck is she in Star Wars? She cannot fucking act.
Yeah.
What is the point? Like, what is the point of her
just
being
took-
in Star
it
Wars
just
as a
took you out of
cameo?
it
And
completely.
Christopher Lloyd is another great person who I think, honestly, he reminds me a lot of Grievous's droid that worked on him in the Clone Wars. He's like a crazy scientist, as you've seen Back to the Future.
At least he had a role.
You
as
could-
opposed- I mean,
he
they had a
did,
role, but,
but
it
it was
Jack
more than
Black
one
and
episode,
Lizzo
no?
took
But
me
the
out.
thing is, though, it's a wasted role.
Wait, but isn't he in more than one episode? He is or no?
No, it's the one episode with the
Oh, I
battle
thought he was
droids.
two.
They're all in that one episode.
But it's
very
just
forgettable.
they're
for
underutilizing cameos or overutilizing it. There's no gray area. It's
Well-
really black and white at this point because of
Yeah.
how much time's passed.
Well, speaking of Lloyd, though, I mean, you pointed out earlier, The Million Days to Die in the West, which is a Seth MacFarlane movie for those that don't know. It's not a very popular movie, but I will say it holds one of like the last like really good comedic cameos in a film.
There
which
are a
is
lot of
Christopher
cameos
Lloyd.
in
There's
that
a lot
movie.
of cameos in the movie.
but
That one specifically
comedies
is
with
great.
cameos, or at least you can give more. You could throw them more of a bone because they're played for comedy.
Yeah, you can actually take someone out of the story
wanna-
and bring them
Yeah,
back in
that's
so
fine.
much
You want to
easier
know
in a
fine,
comedy
like
movie.
I have like a top 3 list, but you know what my number 3 is?
Yeah.
Justin Long and Zach and Mary make a porno.
Oh my god, that
See,
one's
that's a great choice.
That is such a great like Brent. You see Brandon Routh, obviously.
Honestly, let's move on. We've been talking about the
No,
current
he's
state.
getting into it.
Yeah,
Listen,
let's get it. Let's
that's
move
great.
on.
We're
Let's talk
starting
about-
now.
Let's talk about some
Justin
good
Long,
cameos.
Justin Long has to be like my number 3 of all
Yeah.
time. Like obviously,
shout
one
for
of
the
you is gonna
Jersey
say Matt
film
Damon,
fans.
so I wasn't gonna say Matt Damon. And obviously, as much as I've listened to that song before it was a trend, but Justin Long coming in and being like, "Oh, granny panties."
That's-
Cha, are
that-
you a Monrover?
He
Like,
reprised
bro,
the role,
great
right?
movie,
and
too.
bro,
Reprised
he's
the role.
he
I
played.
think he plays that
he
role
does-
in another movie too.
He does he
in
But
the reboot, Jay and
he-
Silent Bob.
bro,
Jay and
he
Silent Bob
fucking
reboot.
plays a gay porn star, and Justin
Yeah.
Long is like the innocent, awkward kid in almost every other movie.
So
Oh, it was
And
such a jarring
He
cameo.
is
Such a-
so
yeah.
fucking funny.
well,
in
those are
that
some of the
movie.
best ones.
Yeah,
where
that
it's, like,
play with the
completely
person and
playing
who
with the
they
person,
are
like
in
Michael Cera,
real
and this
life.
is the end. Like that is a classic cameo because it's just completely the opposite of what you think of when you think Michael
Oh
Cera.
yeah, he was so good in that.
completely owns that. That's a movie that also has a
Well, in a
plethora
movie,
of
it's funny
cameos.
for that film. They say that a lot of it, like, it's obviously very blown out of proportion, but they said a lot of it is kind of trying to reflect things that were really going on with them at the time and their actual thoughts and stuff. Sarah, no, that was just.
Sarah's a joke.
Let's just have fun with
Great
this.
joke.
Let's play with this.
I
person's-
have a reoccurring
Perception.
cameo I want to bring up, which I think no shot at Matt Damon's. Even though that'd be my one, I'm thinking now this might be my one by far.
Really?
And if people understand what I'm about to like reference and understand who specifically as a group who has been in multiple movies and has taken over and taken the spotlight,
Ooh,
and
I
every
think I already know what
comedic
he's gonna
film
say.
is going to be the Dan Band.
Yeah,
It's-
I knew it before he got to
Like,
it.
bro,
that's a good
The
one.
Hangover, Starsky and Hutch, even their cover of Total Eclipse of the Heart in Old School is the
it's
one
so
scene
great.
a lot of people talk about. They'll talk about how they sung Candy Shop. He flipped off the fucking old guy
so
after
great.
he
That's
fucking
probably their most famous
toward the
one.
line. Well, yeah.
Because
well,
that movie also was just the most famous out of.
well, yeah, The
both of them,
Hangover,
yeah.
and even Starsky and Hutch, like them joking around at the bar mitzvah and making like
it's classic.
like
That
a
was my
pedophile
introduction
joke,
to
and
them.
Vince Vaughn's sitting there like, what does he mean by that? Like, they take over, and the fact that people, I forgot who it was, I saw online, they got hired, I'm pretty sure, to do a wedding and sung like their covers of the songs from that. Like,
They're like clearly a cameo that like elevates.
they're a real
Yeah,
band.
like real. Yeah, of course. I'm just
Well,
saying.
it's
like,
great.
Well, like you said before, it's so much easier to like take the audience out from a comedy,
comedies, yeah.
and then to reinsert them back in, especially when it's a joke.
and no,
It's
for the
played
record, we
laughs.
don't mean action comedies. We mean raunchy.
This is why I think
comedies.
cameos work the best in comedies. Like it's
Yeah.
just they're the best use of cameos.
Well, I'll delve into one that I really love, which is from. I think all the ones I'm really going to reference are comedies because
Yeah,
those are just
those
the
are my
best
favorite
uses.
ones.
We're talking about cameos and comedies essentially here.
yeah,
I love Bowie's cameo in Zoolander. I mean, I think
yeah.
everyone does,
yeah,
but
it's
Yeah.
just great.
that's always been one of my top cameos. I just think it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Essentially.
no,
like,
exactly. Those are some of the best ones are the ones that completely catch you off guard. That is one.
Well,
that
I think
completely catches you
I
off
might have
guard.
heard like the story of how they got him. I don't even know if it was like it might have been Stiller who was like, let's get Bowie, but like
Yeah.
just that and like asking him, like him just saying like, yeah, sure, let's
Well,
do this.
Bowie's
Like,
actually proved that he actually can act.
yeah, no, he's an actor too.
Yeah.
Of course, but it's just Zoolander.
Will Ferrell
How did
and
they
Wedding
get him for
Crashers. Will Ferrell and Wedding Crashers.
That's kind of a role.
That's
No, he's
that's a cameo.
He's there for literally 2 minutes or less of screen
but he's
time.
in more than one scene.
No, he's in the one scene. Will
He,
Ferrell.
he is
He's in
in
the
two
end of the
scenes,
movie.
but I
he
consider
is.
it a cameo.
You're right. You're
It's
right.
a
Yeah, that's
cameo.
fair.
That's
it's
a
like
cameo.
bringing the joke
when
back.
You, well, I mean, even I'm gonna just reference Watch Mojo real quick, but even that he's like still referenced as a.
Well, since you
cameo.
mentioned Will Ferrell, I'm just gonna bring up
And
one of my favorite
Watch Mojo
ones.
goated.
This one is just classic because it also just is out of nowhere.
I know what you're talking about.
Jack Black in Anchorman.
Yeah.
Absolutely hilarious. Like
Well,
he just first of all he doesn't even fit the rest of the cast.
Baxter!
I know.
At all. It's just Jack Black.
Bro, that one's so
out of nowhere.
good that I always forget that he's in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
forget
Like,
it, and it's
yeah.
so great every single time. And it's, I mean, just absolutely hilarious.
Christopher Nolan is just known for cameos, so I definitely want to talk about like Sean Avery, the NHL former, Ranger player, Kings, but like he was in Oppenheimer.
Who did
like,
he get for Dark Knight Rises
That's
again?
true.
Who runs across the field in Dark Knight Rises?
He had like a ton of NFL players in that.
Nah,
Ben
but-
Roethlisberger was in there too. Like there was a whole roster of like Pittsburgh Penguins players. Oh my god, Penguins, Steelers. Sorry, too much hockey recently. He's very known for that though. Sean Avery's been in Tenet too. Like
Oh, yeah, it was Heinz Ward. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Heinz
can
Ward-
see the back of his
Yeah,
jersey.
so Heinz
yeah,
Ward
sorry,
also runs it.
I
Yeah,
knew there were
Nolan
so
just
many
has-
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Nolan's just
players.
someone that has connections like that too, so he can implement.
But also,
cameos
if you're
as much as
getting
he
that
wants.
call, like you're
Yeah,
showing up
exactly.
sick.
There's
Exactly.
also
No one calls
like,
you're doing it.
There's very niche ones. Like a lot of people don't realize like Bill Hader was in Men in Black 3.
Such a good one.
Like a lot of
That
people don't
one's
realize he plays
great.
Andy Warhol. Like
Yeah.
Michael Jackson in Men in Black, I thought it's like just such a funny one because it's like I could be Agent M and they just hang up on him.
Yeah, that one's honestly the whole Men in Black franchise does have a lot of great cameos.
They do, and
Oh
it's,
yeah, they did some clever.
I'm gonna
ones.
bring up just a classic one from the 2000s before one of you does, but Sugar Ray and
I
Scooby-Doo.
have it. I have
Sugar
it
Ray and
down.
Scooby Doo
You know-
is just is one that is just so close to my heart because I just love it. Every time I see him,
I mean, he literally
serenade
plays a
Daphne,
demonized version.
it's
from
so great.
something.
Yeah, and then he's like a monster.
Well, that
I
one
think
had
it's
two
awesome.
big ones actually. If we
Yeah.
want to talk about Pam Anderson in the beginning, like
That's
you
true.
you never get a real story of what even happened. To like, wow, here's Pam Anderson.
Yeah.
Like she's just walking in.
no-
Do you think that was like from like the R-rated script? Like that's something that
It
might
kind of
carried
feels
over?
like it's
I- it
something.
has-
that
There's
is,
some
like,
things
why
in
is
the
that
movie that like feel like they
Adult.
were from the
Talk
original.
about toasted.
Well, yeah, obviously the references and stuff, but it's probably more on the nose before I'd say. You know?
Yeah.
I-
No,
and then,
yeah.
And then we're gonna get into like the more niche ones because a lot of people don't like Lil Nicky, but I have it like written down for a reason. Like Ozzy Osbourne showing up, the biggest rumor of his
Even
career.
Henry Winkler, like.
Well,
Oh
not
my
even
God.
just Henry. Well, Henry and Adam have such a close relationship. I'm
Yeah.
not shocked with that, but,
But
like,
it's a great cameo in the film. I just gotta point
100%. But there was a big rumor that like
Same scene.
that he took his mouth and bit the head off a bat like and ate it like before a concert or something
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
And
I would say
he,
even more than rumor. A lot of people claim they saw it.
yeah, a lot of people claim they saw it, and then they
Yeah, no,
go.
it happened.
Well, it wasn't confirmed, so that's why I'm not gonna
I
say
hope.
like I'm gonna call it a rumor. But the fact he came out for a cameo and then did that
Yeah,
exactly, I thought was
hilarious.
the funniest things that like could have happened in a cameo, and. You know, it's just same thing. It's always an Adam Sandler movie. I mean, look at That's My Boy. He got Rex Ryan to drool over
yeah.
Tom Brady, and I think that is
Hilarious.
that is one of the funniest
Yeah, it's
cameos.
pretty funny.
Just the right amount of
Sandler
scruff.
gets a lot of good ones too.
Yeah, it's
Well, I feel like we might mention this because Wayne's World 1 has a classic cameo with Robert Patrick coming back to play the T-1000. But I was about to just bring up the Charlton Heston cameo in Wayne's World 2,
Yeah.
which I think is maybe even funnier.
Oh,
Like,
it's
it's
a good one.
actually
Well,
hilarious.
we just had a conversation about this the other day when we were kind of preparing for this. I cannot believe that it happened.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like they got Charlton Heston.
I
to
just
do
want to
one
know what the
scene.
conversation
Yeah.
was with Heston to get him to
Well,
be
the
in it.
joke is genuinely funny. Like,
Oh, it's amazing.
That's what it is.
But like, was he a fan of the first film? Like, did
I
he
don't
have
know.
No
I
idea
don't know the
what
story,
the sketch was from SNL.
But
Like, there's a lot of
honestly,
questions.
that's such a forgotten one.
I
So
should've
do
researched
yourself
that.
a favor and look up Charlton Heston's cameo.
But also Robert Patrick
'Cause
in
it's
the
hilarious.
first. If you're a Terminator fan, especially you've never seen that cameo, watch the movie because
Yeah.
it'll just come out of nowhere and you will love it.
This is why cameos are so good sometimes too, because sometimes you get a cameo where it's the actual like character,
And
and
not
then
the
sometimes
actor.
it's just the actor.
I was
There
about to
could be
bring
so
that
many
up.
different forms of cameos.
I was about to bring that up, but do you guys remember the movie Robots? Obviously, with Ewan McGregor.
Of
Yeah.
course, of course.
In the back of it, because Ice Age was around the same time movies being released, they have like a robot version of Sid the Sloth walking in the train station.
Really,
Well, a
And
lot
I
movies
didn't know-
do that.
Animated
movies-
See, I mean,
cameos.
Cars did that with like,
Yeah,
monsters, but he didn't have a line, no interaction, nothing. You just see him walking in the back. So I don't know if we would consider that a cameo or not.
It's like an Easter egg.
It's
Yeah.
an Easter egg, yeah.
More than
See?
like a
so than
cameo. What we're talking about is bringing someone in
Oh,
to film
100%,
something and,
yeah.
or record something that's.
I just thought that was cool, and with
No, I love nods like
with
that.
animation, I know there's like different
Pixar
ways
does that
to,
a bunch,
to
too,
categorize,
Mhm.
cameos. There's different ways. Like,
Well, there's
100%.
so many different kinds of cameos.
I mean, there
Yeah,
is. I
that's
mean,
what
there's
I'm
a
saying.
bunch in TV shows with even like A-list actors showing up. I mean, Adam Sandler showed
Yeah.
up in Jesse.
Oh, we can
Yeah,
do a
literally,
whole
yeah.
separate video on TV.
We
shows.
will be doing a whole separate,
Yeah, probably.
separate conversation about
No,
TV
100%.
cameos because there are some weird ones.
I have some crazy.
Just as
Especially
much
in,
as
like,
there
the
are
Nickelodeon
weird
shows,
cameos in
weird
movies,
ones.
there are 20 times
You
more
know how
weird
many I
cameos
got
in
in
TV.
the vault when we were talking about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
There's some crazy cameos, but
For
no,
sure.
I definitely want to go back to like talking about comedies. Like and same thing with Snoop Dogg in Old School. Like, dude, he literally performs like a concert,
That's
like
true.
just for no reason. Like Snoop Dogg ends up in a Vince Vaughn, Will Ferrell movie. Like stuff like that you won't see anymore. They like just have to have a role or sort of some importance to draw the attention. It's like the beauty of that stuff is you go into a movie and it's like holy shit, like random actor comes out that you wouldn't expect, especially at that
Well,
time.
I think we still get those, but I think the problem, honestly, is in the consumer. We expect cameos now. That shouldn't be a thing.
Should
You know what
never
I
be-
mean?
it
We
should
should
never
never be an
become a
we
thing.
get it, but it's also with different purpose now. Now it's to
Yeah.
boost movies. Back then it was just to kind of like, oh shit, like
Well,
there he
still
is.
to do the same thing, but like, yeah, it's just they weren't expected.
Well, it's
So
like
people,
weird
when they
because I
came-
see what you're saying though. When
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out.
That's gonna be a load of a
soon.
cameo.
Yeah, I'm sure, exactly. It's gonna be loaded with
And we
cameos
already
'cause they're
know the
expected.
people that are going to appear in it, and they're probably going to be cameos. They'll probably be in it for like
Yeah,
2 seconds.
Well, I don't
Exactly.
think Bad
That's
Bunny and
so
them are
weird.
going to be cameos. I think they'll have.
Well,
like,
we'll see. Time will tell. But
It
I
looks
do
like-
think some of the people that we know are in that film already will just be cameos.
Yeah, no,
And that shouldn't be a thing. We shouldn't
you know,
know
don't
about
quote
it.
me on it, but I feel like Margaret Qualley, like, no way she has an actual standing role. in
You
the
never
movie.
know.
You never know with that. But,
You never
I
know.
just feel like she's just not gonna have a big role. But
Yeah, we'll see when that
correct me in a
drops
couple
on
months
Netflix.
if I'm
whenever.
wrong.
But we were talking about franchise cameos before too, bringing people from other movies into your comedy. I think a great one that we haven't talked about is Spaceballs. John Hurt.
true.
Oh wow.
I
Some
mean,
really
just
good
like
ones.
think about that because also that's in such a different, like way different era. The 80s. I mean, Alien was what, like 4 years before?
Yeah.
Baseball, something like that.
That was actually a really good shout. I completely forgot how he literally just starts dancing on him.
Doesn't
Right
that
after.
Yeah,
also
literally.
show you just like the cultural like impact Alien?
That
had,
is
though,
one of
too?
my favorite, like,
Crazy.
reprising your character cameos ever. That one is
Well, it was
actually
such an iconic
hilarious.
moment just in cinema,
Yeah,
and for them to really make fun of that was so interesting.
exactly. They're
too.
making fun of actually.
It
how
was
big of
very
a
like
moment
I'm
that
not gonna say
was.
it's very early on in the idea of cameos, but like back then when that happened, it was probably so jarring because it's just like people were probably just so confused by what was going on with it because it's like he's playing the same character, but like even back then it was easier to pull yourself out of it and bring yourself back. I guess because of it also being a spoof movie, that definitely helps. It was easy with Spaceball. I take back what I'm saying there, but I love that one so much, and I think when I first watched Alien, I don't even know. I may have seen Spaceballs first, like as a kid, because Aliens, it's an intense movie, you know. But like when I finally understood that Cameo, I found such a big appreciation for it.
It's great. I
what
mean,
they
you're
did so
talking
much.
about how early back Cameos date. I feel like, you know, one of the earliest instances is obviously Hitchcock just showing up in all of his movies.
That's
I mean,
fair.
even though
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like his own like movie.
But
It's
it's a
like
cameo.
those are cameos.
We forgot about probably
his
the
own
best
movie.
uses of Cameo in today's time. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
I mean, okay, maybe not the best use, but there's some great cameos.
Yo, guys,
in
for,
there.
for
No,
the
Randy
listeners
from
of this pod,
Randy from
love
South
that
Park.
movie.
Randy from South Park
Yeah.
showing up in that, I think, was the craziest cameo because you're having a
Just didn't
mature.
expect that at all.
Well, you're
yeah,
having
that's
a.
another one where it's not the voice. Like it's just
It's not.
yeah,
He's just
it's an
there,
animated
but like.
cameo.
Bridge and Easter
But
egg
you have a
cameo.
drug at like you have one of the most controversial cartoon characters in a children's movie. That's why I think that's such a crazy like cameo. Like Easter egg or not, it's close up on him. It's not like he's walking in the back. It is close up on him, and I think he coughs or something, and it's still his voice.
Yeah.
But like the fact that they even allowed him to show up in a children's movie, I think is just such a sick cameo / Easter egg.
I agree.
That's a good use. I mean, them doing Ugly Sonic, I thought was funny for a quick cameo.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's
That was
one's-
kind of a
that
roll,
one's
too.
great because it's just like they're literally the cameo itself.
It was
is
almost Jar
literally,
Jar
like-
too, which is crazy. We would have gotten a Jar Jar cameo, and a lot of people forget that.
That's true. That would have been funny.
That would have pissed me off because it would have just meant Star Wars.
You got me thinking with
a
the
movie.
Hitchcock statement before too, so I just wanted to look up when he first appeared in a cameo. That was 1927, I think.
Cameos have definitely been a thing.
But
like,
the idea of a cameo predates that even to
Wasn't it-
1913 to the silent era.
yeah,
Am I
exactly. Yeah,
bugging
there was a recurring character.
Was there a cameo in Inglourious Bastards?
I mean, I guess I would kind of count Mike Myers. Like,
Mm.
is that not a cameo though? Like he's just like.
He was definitely hired to play that role.
Yeah,
it wasn't
it's
like
just so
I don't
brief
think
where I'm like,
I don't
that's
think
Mike
Clinton
Myers.
has ever, you know. I mean, he might not.
Yeah,
audition
Tarantino
everyone, but he
might
probably
not look at
auditioned
it like
Mike Myers
that,
for that.
you know what I mean?
No, I was just asking because I couldn't remember. I haven't seen it in a while.
But
and someone was
Tarantino,
telling me that.
I'm trying to think of like the cameos in his films.
Phil Lamar in
He
Pulp
doesn't really
Fiction.
have, like, cameos.
I just love that's him.
It's
I
so
love that
funny.
Marvin's him.
Phil Lamar.
is so
I think
Phil
good.
Lamar's been in a lot of
cast all
live
of
action. A
those
lot of people
as
don't realize that he was in Curb Your
Yeah.
Enthusiasm, but that's not like a cameo.
He's
That's
just a
him.
really great voice actor.
He
You know
is
what
a
I mean?
great voice actor.
Or it's like he just has the voice.
It's
you
so
know?
funny when people are like, I didn't know he was Static Shock and John Stewart, like, because their voices are so
He
different.
was
It's
pretty
funny.
good.
Just Samurai
I stopped
Jack,
watching
casually.
pretty soon after he was in. He was good in Walking Dead. I liked his casting.
Oh
as
my
Ezekiel.
God, I forgot
Yeah.
about that one.
Very good casting.
Yeah, good shout.
Yeah, no, for sure. That I feel like. No, I'm not gonna get into shows.
Do
like
we think
having
though
cameos as
movies
well,
are
but-
gonna die down a bit and propel back up, especially with cameos, or it just kind of like
Well,
cameos?
one thing that I think
cameos
what
have
we're-
been permanently stained on the white
One
shirt.
thing that we want, you know, everyone here on this pod, we just want comedies back, like normal, raunchy comedies, and they're not gone.
no, they're
There's
gone.
I mean, no, they're not. They're not. They're not gone. I mean, we had the Jennifer Lawrence one in the last 2 years. We had.
Oh, I forgot.
We've had
Yeah, I
a
forgot
few
about that.
attempts at it. It's not fully dead, but studios don't want to punch down with comedy anymore. They don't want to be crude with comedy anymore, or as crude as we once were.
I'm being.
They're scared. They really are.
I need like a raunchy Seth Rogen stoner movie to come back out. Like I
And
need
that's never
some.
going to happen because weed's legalized. The
Yeah.
perception of it is different
It's
now.
normal now.
The perception of what those movies are is just
Stoner
changed.
movies are.
Seth
they're
Rogen
in
make
the
a movie
past.
about cocaine or
There's good
ketamine.
stoner movies. It's been a
Yeah,
long
it's like
time
you gotta-
since
you gotta go
stoner movies come
harsher.
out.
Yeah, go cocaine or
Yeah.
ketamine, but the issue is that you're gonna get more people to want to do ketamine. I mean, like,
Yeah, it's like it's concerning.
back-
I mean, I gotta after just having this convo, I gotta say, I hope that we get back to the day where I'm not expecting a cameo in every big.
Yeah,
bunch of
listen,
movies.
every listener
you
to
know?
I
this,
feel like I always do now.
It's
stop
a problem.
hoping
It's
for
a problem,
cameos.
you know?
No,
Normal
not that.
consumers, you
No,
know.
not
not
that I
actually,
hope.
I'm
Not
kidding.
hope. I said expected.
no, they can
expect
be
it this
fun.
way.
Listen, we are not haters of it. We just have noticed that it's changed. It's
Yeah.
really changed, especially, really this sentiment towards, going to a movie like, who's going to cameo? Who's going to be in this? What's going to cameo? And it's also gotten weird where it's like social media where, say you're going to see, a franchise property where people are very knowledgeable, even more so than the people that have created it now, because of this extra text, social media, all this. They're more connected than ever to their franchises, and then they start talking about who they think would appear in a project, and that gets to the mainstream eventually. They expect even just characters at this point.
That's why I said
you pointed out the
Krasinski
thing.
Yeah.
They're fan cast and characters. And
How about what's his name is
why
John?
would studios want to listen to that?
How about what's his name is Johnny Storm?
That's different. That's an established
There's
character.
gotta be some more
This
thought.
was literally them putting in something that was a theory.
It was already a
online.
fan cast.
It was
into the
yeah,
movie,
it was
you
a
know?
fan. Okay, well the other thing I
That's
saw that a lot of
crazy.
people are like begging Ryan Gosling to either was be in Star Wars or be Ghost Rider, and it's like, listen, I like Ryan
The
Gosling.
studios listen.
Nothing against him, but
Studios
like
are listening to people more and more.
somebody
more and more.
immediately, especially him, like people are gonna be like, "Oh, Ryan Gosling will never do that." Like some people are saying he'll never be in a Marvel movie. Like,
He was
bro,
in The Gray
he was in-
Man.
no, hold up, he was in the Barbie movie, which is why
How is my point not better than yours?
I didn't hear what you said. That's
He's in The
what-
Gray Man.
Oh
It's
well,
terrible.
terrible. Yeah,
Like
But-
he's been doing like Barbie was directed by Greta Gerwig,
Yeah.
written by Noah Baumbach. Like
That was at least
that's
an
why he did the
interesting-
movie.
an
Like,
yeah.
interesting
Well, I was
role.
gonna say people are saying like, "Oh, he would never be in like a Marvel movie." It's like, bro, money
no, but that's
talks.
my point. He was in a
and-
Russo brothers movie.
Yeah, no,
Like,
and well, not
wow,
even
he
that.
was.
Money talks. One,
Yeah.
and two, bro. Marvel sees that they have a face like that could potentially fit a
Oh,
character.
so he's
they're,
such a bankable
They're gonna be
star.
like, okay, here we go, unlimited money. I mean, you could have an actor that let's say fucking blows. Let's say who's an actor that's just like everywhere that's just not great at acting. You know, it sounds messed up. I'm gonna just use Gal Gadot. If they said Gal fit like a character and they had unlimited money and like it was actually like a crazy fan casting, they're like, all right, I give a shit. Or even it sounds crazy enough, but like even Ezra Miller, if they really like, if he really fits somebody, and I know that's gonna sound controversial because what he just did, but a lot of people forget a lot of these actors that are in the MCU already have had like crazy past anyways. But the social
though-
media,
The MCU was backed by someone who went to prison.
social media,
or
like
got arrested. My
Yeah.
mistake. RDJ never went to prison, but
social media, like you said though, think about it. The effect it has on these cameos, these castings, you could cast fucking anybody realistically if you're Marvel because of your money.
Yeah.
But the moment someone puts in your head, oh my god, this is what the fan wants. We want more people in the theater. Like, it became so much of like, it's almost like a game of fucking telephone. Like as a kid, like you guys tell everything around and it
Yeah.
goes to fucking one person. It's
Yeah, because
ridiculous.
we're definitely seeing it more and more. They're listening to the fans. It gets to them one way or another. They're hearing what these fans are at.
It's
I think the fans don't fully know what they want because then they'll complain that Marvel's not back. Like it's what they've been giving us, the
Well,
same stuff.
and
Like,
and people forget that the writing's a big issue too. I'm gonna bring up like Moon Knight. Like I love Oscar Isaac, but bro, they butchered like such a great character. And you guys know me, a lot of these niche characters I've talked about before they hit the big screen. And I'll even bring it up with like DC with Starro. There's a lot of these characters. I'm like, damn, like I want it to be done right. They have given they care so much about the cameo casting or the casting.
yeah,
of the-
cameo is not the way to
or,
get it done.
Or if the
Yeah, that's
casting
fair.
of a permanent actor to stay in that role, such as Oscar Isaac, that like the writing just goes out the window and it's like.
Are you
money.
referring to? Obviously, it's not cameos, but like I kind of like Moon Knight. Like I don't think that's one of the really weaker Marvel. Stuff
No, I
they
wasn't- I was
actually-
gonna
except
use-
for the
Let's
last
get away
episode
from Marvel.
of it.
Marvel's
Yeah.
doing weird cameo stuff because obviously.
I just want to
the
wrap up
weirdest
my
one is-
point so I could clarify this last.
No, for sure.
thing.
I'm not
Just
trying
let
to
me
get
clarify.
off
So
track.
one thing I was saying was this about the social media and cameos and regular just casting of actors. The moment somebody, let's say, because a lot of people did want Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight, and I was one of those people actually.
Mm-hmm.
They get cast in the role because Marvel sees it, right? Big face is going to make them a lot of money. The writing goes out of the window with cameos and perfect casting. And the way it pisses me off is because you could have a great character coming to the screen, but the moment they see a big name actor, oh, this is going to bring in money, bro. All the money goes towards the acting, and it feels like the product we get is not what we deserve.
That is my concern towards Doomsday. I'm not gonna.
I
lie.
gotta
That's definitely
say,
my concern
yeah, I'm
towards
still
Doomsday,
concerned going into that
that
movie.
the writing is gonna take a back seat.
Oh, I honestly think that the movie's not going to be good. And I liked Thunderbolts. I gotta say, Lewis Pullman, really great job as Sentry, though.
Yeah,
I just want to point
that
that.
was a
It's not a
great casting.
cameo. But that's from what you were talking about, casting. So, like, he's also replaced someone who was going to play him,
Yeah,
Stephen Yeun.
Stephen Yeun was.
But I gotta
was part of
say,
it for a while.
really good addition, for sure. And I think he's gonna have a good career.
That's what scares me about cameos, though.
No, it's scary going forward, and it's also scary to think going into the next Avengers movies that like there's already such an overabundance of people in them. Are half of them gonna be just cameos? Are there gonna be more cameos? Like Marvel just needs to proceed with caution. But I think just going forward, I think if Marvel can chill with it, and obviously they're getting out of the multiverse saga or whatever they're in, I think that studios will follow suit, and we might be happy with the state of cameos, say, like, 2 to 5 years.
I think this is the last
hope
Marvel
so.
cameos actually we're going to get because today I saw, and if you guys saw too, got announced that there's a 10-year plan for the X-Men apparently.
No, Feige
So,
wants to bring.
They're
it more
moving
down to
past
earth.
the multiverse saga.
I
Finally.
think this is going to be a very big thing where, like I said in previous times, that the cameos are hopefully going to die down. We're going to go back to where we should be, where cameos aren't expected and they're just given to you at the right time. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, it's like
for.
we really might have just been seeing the studios, as we've been pointing out, just following suit with
Like,
Marvel.
the only-
because
what works.
The only cameo I'd like to see is, honestly, like if Venom were to get into the MCU, I'd like to see a Todd McFarlane cameo, like for a brief.
Yeah, shout
Like
out the
creator
creators.
cameos.
Like-
exactly.
like
Stan
Like
would
Rob
be shouted
Liefeld's
out,
cameo in
you know?
Deadpool is pretty great.
And
It's
you
just
gu-
2 seconds. He's right
And
there.
you guys know
That's it.
how much I
Fair.
love Todd, and I want him to get cakes and candles, with
Yeah.
fucking Spawn when that comes out for him to have a small cameo. But
He'll
let's-
never be in a Marvel movie, though. I can guarantee. I would bet money.
I
on
don't
that.
think he would either. I
again.
agree with you,
I
but
mean, he hates the company.
I agree with
He
you.
had a falling
I know
out.
that he had a falling out. I mean, he does a lot of stuff with DC. He did a lot with both, but
And they put him in the basement for like the premiere of Deadpool.
Yeah.
Oh, Rob Liefeld.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was my. Yeah,
They didn't like let him go to the premiere or something.
they're
Something
just
happened.
they're
there.
so weird with their writers. But Todd McFarlane, I would have loved to have seen like one day. Just
Well, I think before we
Unbelievable.
end this conversation, obviously it's very off of what we were just talking about, but just to get back to cameos before we end this, one cameo that I really think about that just kind of it kind of represents the current state that we're in and like how they're utilized. I always think about it. Free Guy. It's just them, and also, I don't remember the movie names, but I think like Hobbs and Shaw and.
I'm getting a little annoyed at this Ryan Reynolds, Chris Evans trading cameos.
Yeah,
they're literally
like, that's
trading
it.
cameos for
Yeah.
their movies, which is just like I can tell they're doing that. It's weird. It's just like stop. We don't.
Well, it's
need to
also
see them
very
in every-
strange when some of these cameos are like in the Chris Evans. I don't remember the name of it because I never saw it, but the Ana de Armas, Chris Evans,
Oh,
whatever
Ghosted?
that was. You know,
Yeah,
Ghosted.
Ghosted.
Okay, but Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan,
Yeah, it's a bunch
and
of
I think a
cameos.
few others. Those are like, hey, you remember them from Marvel?
Yeah,
like,
it's really weird.
it's just
I
funny
agree.
that that's also what.
That is the
places
perfect
to go.
example of the current state of cameos. Watch
Speak-
Ghosted.
those
watch. Those are the
three
problems.
movies I
with it.
think about
Speak,
specifically.
speaking of ghosts and cameos, I just want to say Ghostbusters and Casper was like the funniest thing. Even
See,
though it was
that's a
just
good-
an
that's a
actor.
good shout.
Like,
That's
that's
a
a
good
great.
cameo.
That's a great shout. I had that in my notes.
All
but
right.
like,
So overall, good cameo. Casper, the Ghostbusters and Casper. Bad cameo.
and everybody.
Sebastian Stan and Ghosted.
And for whoever's
Yeah, that was
listening,
awful.
obviously we didn't bring up Matt Damon because that's debatably the most iconic cameo of all time.
Yeah, we have to
Damon-
end by talking about the fact that we love Matt Damon in Eurotrip.
That is the best cameo.
that
Golden
song-
standard.
If you haven't seen that movie,
I saw
watch
that
it.
movie at an age where I shouldn't have, and that song burnt illegally on a disc in my dad's car, hearing it all the time. So, I mean, that cameo now, look at the trends. Like, everyone on TikTok posts that
Yeah,
song. That
it's still
cameo.
very
Scotty
special.
doesn't
In
know.
fact, like, it's crazy. Instagram, when it first came out, Vine, like, no one was playing Sky Doesn't Now. For some reason now, like, it's on TikTok, but that was such an impactful cameo in the right way.
100%.
Like, these Marvel cameos, people just remember the characters. They don't remember the impact they had. A lot of these old ones are very impactful.
A good cameo is quick and impacts the story in a good way, but it also knows how
Or-
much how much time to stay and when to leave.
Yeah, exactly. Going
know?
with that, or if it's gonna take you out of it,
Yeah.
say like the Wayne's World one that we mentioned.
Yeah.
You gotta find a good way to bring it back to
Bring
the
you
story
right back
and keep
immediately.
it going. It can't
100%.
be so jarringly
100%.
distracting.
Yeah.
Going forward, there's some hope here. I think studios are gonna see. I mean, I hope after Thunderbolts that we're gonna see Marvel might be realizing, like we shouldn't be relying on these cameos, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I hope
time
so,
will tell.
because Doomsday kind of looks like it right now.
Well,
Well,
listen,
yeah.
they announced most of the cast, so
That-
that's a good and bad sign because obviously it's an overabundance of people. But we got to see what they cook with the story there. And
Hopefully that's
listen,
them saying that these aren't a bunch of cameos and they're actually going to play into.
How are you going to do this
Add
in
a-
2 hours?
Yeah. Well.
That's my
Exactly. But
Exactly.
I think we're all at a point where we admit these movies, they are theme park attractions, and that's okay. That really is. But like, they can't be so jarringly just brain dead. You know what I mean? It's like there still needs to be something going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some
And
some
I
of them
hope
are still
we
good.
move
but
towards that again.
some of them are still good,
It was
but
a good week to see that. I think it's happening.
some
Yeah.
of them are still
Well,
good.
I
Just the
hope
abundance.
we can get cameos back, and remember, Scotty doesn't know.